All right, welcome back, fellow Shopify entrepreneurs. Welcome back for another month of great Shopify updates. We're here as we do every month to look at the Shopify changelog to explore all of the new updates coming to the Shopify platform this month for November. Every month on this channel, as we always do, we always go over the Shopify changelog at the beginning of each month, see what the Shopify developers have for us so we can maintain our competitive advantage, brainstorm what to work on next, see what Shopify has come up with that we can take advantage of and continue to grow our businesses together. So last month we ended up at the end of September. We're heading into October, heading into November. Happy Halloween, everyone. Happy November. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy everything. Let's do this. So starting off with an excellent, nice and simple new update. This is a new update for shipping. We always love seeing our new badge for these update videos. October 2nd, Shopify released a new update that says purchase shipping labels in bulk from the shipping labels page. So on the shipping labels page, you can select buy labels for X amount of orders to quickly start buying labels for up to 100 orders in bulk, saving us time, saving us money. Just released a new way to buy labels for up to 100 ready to fulfill orders at once. On the Shopify shipping labels page, you can buy labels for X orders to quickly start buying labels for up to 100 orders at one of your fulfillment locations. As it says, you can now group orders by item type and item quantity to quickly fulfill similar orders. It looks like by purchasing shipping labels up to 100 ready to fulfill orders all at once that are the same item type and the same item quantity. Definitely a great update to start the month. Obviously very useful to do a lot of things in bulk, especially when you're buying shipping labels. Just be careful when you're buying your shipping labels. If you're buying hundreds of shipping labels altogether, just keep in mind that there is your threshold billing in your Shopify account. If you go over your threshold, you won't be able to buy any more shipping labels until you pay for that threshold bill. If you go over that threshold, that billing threshold, Shopify will instantly create a new invoice for you in which you have to pay to continue buying. If you have a pending invoice for shipping labels that hasn't been paid, you won't be able to buy any more shipping labels. You'll see an error on your shipping label screen. I'm sure a lot of thresholds are going to be breached if you're buying hundreds of labels all at once. Moving on, October 10th, a new location setting index page with improved filtering. So it says merchants can now filter by attributes of active or inactive, as well as POS Pro, POS Lite locations, and address autocomplete validation is also built in. So basically Shopify is saying that this is a major update to the location settings located in the Shopify admin, but then it goes on to say this is more important for shops that have multiple locations. In fact, it says it can now support shops with up to 1,000 locations. So this update is for Shopify stores that have a lot of locations, fulfillment locations, in-person locations, multiple in-person locations, maybe the home business address. And so if you have a lot of locations, from the location settings within the admin, there's a lot more searching, filtering, and tools available to you that can help streamline design and setting processes in an effort to just manage locations more efficiently. At the same time, the same update is talking about the address validation feature. We see this all over the place. We see this in checkout. We see this in customer settings in the customers tab. Anywhere where basically address has to be typed in, this new address validation feature is becoming more prominent, because if an address is typed in incorrectly at checkout or in the customer's saved information tab, then this can cause a lot of unneeded errors down the line. And so by validating the address before it can be saved or before it can be inputted into checkout, helps ensure accuracy for not only customers or checkout or customer information, but also for your location settings. October 11th, we have a little small improvement to the checkout here where it says app block that customize the discount code field in the checkout now appear in the top of the order summary on one-page mobile checkout. So very specific update here. When a buyer views the order summary at the top of the one-page mobile checkout, they can now see any blocks that appear above or below the discount field. So just a minor improvement here. It's basically saying if you're using one-page checkout and you're using one-page checkout on mobile, if you're using an app block is something that can help customize the checkout page, because the checkout page is one of the least customizable pages on Shopify if you're on a core plan. So it says, any app blocks that add content above or below the discount code field now appear at the top of the page in one-page mobile checkout, as opposed to the bottom of the page on one-page checkouts. So we have 3 little POS improvements here. 2 of them are quite similar, and these 2 right here that came on October 15th are basically the same thing, where it says tap pay on Android or tap pay on iPhone have now been expanded if you're using Shopify POS in your in-person location. So previously it says that these were only available in the United States, and now they are being extended to users in Australia and Canada and the Netherlands and the United Kingdom, and the list goes on, just offering more customers more available options to pay at checkout in your in-person location to increase the conversion rate is always a good thing. Another small improvement here on the same day says that you can apply brand colors to the POS terminal idle screen, where it says brand colors from admin settings can now apply to your POS terminal and customer facing displays. And so as we can see here, there's 2 different pieces of hardware and pieces of software going on at the same time. There's the POS version and also the customer view version. So these are 2 different things. You can enable or inherit brand colors in the admin. Just go to your devices, your customer display, click on the idle screen, and you can go add or edit brand color. But this is an interesting little update because it reminds us that if you're using a POS terminal or you're interested in maybe expanding to a POS location, there's 2 devices. You have your POS location here, and then behind the desk, and then usually in front of the desk for the customer, there's the customer's POS terminal, piece of hardware as well. So this update is referring to brand colors on idle screens between these devices, but it's also just interesting to note and to learn about the different pieces of hardware that these companies use. There are pieces of hardware that don't require a second customer-facing option here, but as we can see, there are different softwares for the POS and the customer view version. This is an interesting update here, another one for the POS. We always like seeing the little new tab. October 15th, another POS update says POS unverified returns. So it's a very small update. It just says now you can configure your return policy to allow retail staff to offer return to gift cards without the customer presenting a receipt or having an order number. So that's exactly what an unverified return is. There's nothing really to click into for this update, but an unverified return is a return for a customer who doesn't have their receipt, doesn't have their order number. So in today's day and age in e-commerce, when the order number is emailed to someone online, sometimes in-person checkouts don't have that option. So an unverified return is a way for your staff and to offer returns and add to their return policy the ability to give the customer gift cards for an unverified return if they don't have a receipt. This is an interesting update here, a new little feature for storefronts that may not be so relevant to anybody watching this video, but again, it touches on a unique term called hydrogen storefront. Hydrogen storefronts and hydrogen setups are completely very different storefront setups than using themes found on the theme store. There's a lot of custom coding, there's a lot of API, and it's not very beginner friendly, but it is introducing maybe a new age to e-commerce and storefronts in general. This update specifically is saying that if you're using hydrogen storefronts or you have multiple hydrogen storefronts now support unique resource publishing and order attribution. And that basically means if you have multiple hydrogen storefronts, the order sales channel will say the hydrogen storefront, and if you have multiple hydrogen storefronts, what hydrogen storefront that is. So you know when you have your order tab here and you're selling on multiple channels like the shop channel or Facebook or Google or your online storefront or your in-person location, if a sale comes through your hydrogen storefront or multiple hydrogen storefronts, it will now actually say the name of that storefront in the order detail tabs. Just the same way that orders are separated by their channels currently, this is now being extended to hydrogen storefronts. A very fascinating update here on the October 16th collective improvement. And this gives us a little more insight into collective. So collective is a way for any Shopify store to either be a retailer or a supplier for other Shopify stores. That's what collective is. And so in this update, it's saying collective retailers, people who are selling other Shopify stores items. So you have the retailer here who's selling it on their store, but their supplier is another Shopify store. So in this specific update, it says collective retailers can prevent high-risk orders from reaching suppliers. And so this is sort of a similar situation to your fraud analysis tool in your Shopify admin. Basically what it's saying here is the retailers can now use automations such as Shopify Flow templates to cancel or hold high fraud risk orders before they actually reach the supplier. The way they do this is it says they've added a 2-minute delay before orders are sent to the supplier. So the retailer is selling another Shopify store's products. You have the supplier, the retailer relationship here. When the retailer gets an order, or when you get an order, we all know that there's a fraud analysis tool located in the orders section of the admin. With this 2-minute delay from when the retailer gets the order and sends it to the supplier for a request to fulfill the order, this 2-minute delay will allow automations like Shopify Flow and the fraud analysis tool to run their checks to prevent orders from high-risk customers or fraudulent customers to be completed. Oh, we have a very interesting improvement to marketing. We usually don't see many marketing updates, but this is actually turning out to be a really good month for updates, covering a broad range of Shopify topics. So October 17th, we have an update here to marketing that says customer win-back automations can now accommodate longer buying. Customer win-back marketing automation template is now powered by the customer segmentation. It can extend longer than 60 days. So basically what this update is saying is that an automation that is using Flow is now using basically a new trigger. Because it's using this new trigger, you can now send customer win-back automations to customers longer than 60 days. So previously the workflows and the flows and the templates would send customer win-back automations, maybe like abandoned cart automations or on sale automations. But because of the trigger that they were using in the flow and the automation, there would be a limit of 60 days. Now, since the flow is using when the customer joined the segment trigger, this can be extended much farther than 60 days. So this can allow for win-back and marketing automations for not just weeks, not just months, but maybe even years. It says this is a brand new template that replaces the existing one. So if you're interested, you actually have to set this one up from scratch and turn off the old one. But it's also a great idea to check out some of the pre-made marketing automation templates and some of the segment triggers in Flow. Now that, especially with Shopify email, all of these automations are created directly within Flow, not in Shopify email anymore, as we saw in previous updates. We have an interesting new update here on October 17th for Flow once again. And this is a trigger for workflows when a meta object is created. So Shopify Flow now has a meta object entry created trigger to start a workflow when a new entry is created for specific meta object definition. So we can see an example use case of this new meta object workflow trigger. But as we can see, there are a lot of updates each month to Flow, and what you can do and accomplish with Flow is really endless, especially because every month we do these videos, we see a lot of updates that come to Flow. Automations are great as they help reduce our effort. They allow us to create very robust systems. The Shopify Flow app and these automations are not something that you really have to worry about right away, especially if you're just starting your Shopify store for the first time. But Shopify actually has a really good Flow community just dedicated to Flow. And so if you're wondering how to create flows or look at templates, Shopify has a lot of pre-made Shopify Flow templates already made. But if you wanted to see what other people are using, you can definitely go to the Shopify Flow community, and they have all kinds of things over there. Okay, this is a really funny update here on October 21st because this one always annoyed me specifically. So we can now brand the customer account login page for branding the checkout. Branding for checkout and customer accounts now apply to the login page too. Because when you're in your theme editor and you're playing around with your theme and your checkouts and your thank you pages and your order status pages and your customer login pages, they all seem to have the same customization settings on the side, except for the login page. So your branding can look really nice, perfect color scheme, perfect logo, everything looking nice. And then you have a few pages that stick out, like the login page, that just don't have the customization for some reason. And it makes the page look entirely broken and you can't really change it. So this is a great little tiny improvement here to the login page. Your branding customizations that you're doing already on your checkout page, your customer account page, now going to the login page. Thank goodness. Quick little update here on insurance for shipping labels, but only for managed market. So a thing called ShipSurance is now available on managed markets for shipping labels that you buy through managed markets. So it says specifically shipping insurance up to $200 is now included for managed market labels purchased from the Shopify admin, with the option to purchase additional insurance up to $5,000. So this is just an insurance update for shipping labels. Managed markets is the tier above market settings in the Shopify admin. It used to be called Markets Pro. Now it's called Managed Markets. And if you buy a shipping label via Managed Markets, you now have the option to add some shipping insurance to those packages from $200 up to $5,000. There's a lot of if conditions about shipping labels, shipping couriers, shipping services, and especially shipping insurance. But if you're using managed markets and you're looking into shipping insurance up to $200 is now included for a managed market shipping label from the admin. Almost at the end of the month here, October 31st, we have a quick little update here that says, or a quick little improvement to the checkout. This says that there is a new apps tab in the checkout and accounts editor. So the checkout and accounts editor is the same thing. It's one page within the theme editor. So it says use the new apps tab in the checkout and account editor to add, remove, preview, and configure app blocks organized by collection. Here's the full update here. Basically, all this is saying if you go to the checkout and accounts editor, the checkout and accounts page on your theme editor, you'll see on the right side there are your sections, your settings, and then your apps. And then if you click your apps, you have the apps that are available to your checkout. So a small little improvement though there, even though the checkout page is one of the least customizable pages from your theme editor and the least customizable page in terms of adding apps to the page. But maybe this is foreshadowing more apps, more customizations coming to the checkout page if they're adding this tab. Who knows? Now I want to come back to this one just a second because this is a very big update. So I'll just cover this one quite quickly. So this update here on November 1st talks about the combined listings app. And this was introduced in the most recent Shopify edition. So this is one of the first updates I'm seeing coming to this app. It basically says you can configure your combined listings in search and discovery services. So merchants using the combined listing app can now customize how their combined listing app appear in search and product recommendations. Unfortunately, the combined listings app is only available to Plus at the moment, but a lot of the times when Shopify introduces a new product, like a new app, it starts in Plus and then it starts to trickle down to more plans, more countries, more languages, and this is sort of how these things happen. So it might be worth just talking about briefly. Basically, all this is saying is that the Shopify Combined Listings app, which is only available to Plus at the moment, it can now use the Search and Discovery app. And the Search and Discovery app has a powerful feature to allow you to customize how product recommendations are shown. You can have these automatic, you can have these manual, and this is just a way so that you can get the products you want the most eyes on to have more eyes, more visibility, not hidden in your store. It can be your best sellers. This can be products that are on sale, all kinds of things. So it's just a combination of these two apps here. Now, the biggest update of the month here is this one on November 1st by far. So this update says, it's a new update that says Shopify Tax has expanded to the European Union and United Kingdom with a new suite of offerings. So it says Shopify Tax now handles VAT compliance in the EU and UK with new features and upgrades built specifically for these regions, including VAT invoices, liability tracking, and more precise calculations. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this in detail for a few moments. Shopify Tax has expanded to the European Union and United Kingdom with a new suite of offerings. So Shopify Tax is Shopify's product that helps calculate and collect tax. It started only in the US. Then it got expanded to people selling to the US. Now it's getting expanded further to merchants from the European Union and the United Kingdom. So it comes with a new suite of features and offerings, and this is basically what Shopify Tax does. The main things about this is that Shopify Tax will automatically keep track and change sales tax for you if rates change. That's one big factor. The second major thing that Shopify Tax does is it helps keep track of your liability. So for example, in the United States, there's 50 states and territories and all sorts of things. Each of these states and provinces have their own tax thresholds, and this is how tax liability is determined. So to help keep track of when you might need to start collecting tax for certain states that you're selling to, Shopify Tax helps keep track of this. Now, like I said, Shopify Tax started for merchants in the US who are selling to the US. It then got updated for merchants anywhere who are selling to the US. And now it's being updated and expanded again to merchants who are in the European Union and the United Kingdom. Now it's interesting because the way tax is collected all over the world changes drastically. So the European Union, the United Kingdom collect and manage a VAT system of tax. And this comes with all of these enhanced products. So as we can see, some of the things I already mentioned are that Shopify Tax accurately calculates VAT rates based on your customer's exact address. We see a lot of AI, Shopify Magic, taking over to help with categorization, which is really important when you're selling cross-border. So it can help categorize your products for effective tax management. And then, like I just said, liability insights, a country-by-country overview of your tax obligations. Interesting to hear that it's country by country, because in Shopify Tax for the USA, it's state by state, and then it can actually calculate down further and further to counties and cities and these sort of things. So wondering if it's only country by country or if it goes by provinces as well over there, to let you know that you may be required to collect VAT in those areas soon. Specifically for here, we see this feature here that says VAT invoices. So if you sell taxable goods or services to VAT registered businesses or individuals in other EU countries, you have an obligation to provide a VAT invoice. So it says with tap of a toggle, Shopify Tax will issue VAT invoices, enabling you to stay compliant with local laws and your B2B buyers to reclaim any VAT paid. And you can learn more down here. So this is definitely the biggest update of the month. Huge update affecting a large number of merchants. That's the end of the month. Hope you liked this video. I hope you learned a lot. This is a great update video. A lot of stuff to cover. Nothing too long. Lots of different topics. Tax, checkout app blocks, shipping, insurance, managed markets, branding, pages, flows, workflows, automations in marketing, collective, high-risk orders, little introduction to hydrogen, little introduction to POS hardware, POS software, updates coming to payment methods to POS locations if you're using those, location settings, shipping labels, of course. So all around a very, very useful update video this month. If you like this video, if you've learned anything new, leave a like on the video so I know. If you want to join a free Shopify community as we all chase the same e-commerce dreams, consider subscribing to the channel down below. If you do, see you in the next video.